Hi, this is Glenn. I want to welcome you to this video. This is the first in a series of 4 videos that I'm doing. This is the introduction video, but it's basically uh, the content is about what I call my 3 Ps of what every entrepreneur should look for when doing their due diligence on a home-based business. And so, in this introduction, I'm going to talk a little bit about the home-based business in general, and why it is poised right now in the global economy for major growth. Fortune magazine came out a couple of years ago and said that they expected over 40 million people to begin a work from home business over the next 3 to 5 years that we're looking at here over the next 3 to 5 years. And that was really before the economy began, going into free fall in the fall of 2008. And those numbers have actually accelerated. And when you look back in history over time, what you see is that this industry has predominantly had really good years, growth years, at times when the economy was worse. And it sounds odd. Why would people do that? But, think about it. People go out and they start a business, especially one from home that may not require as much capital as a bricks and mortar business. They start that because one, they're either worried about their existing income and job right now and realize they need to do something else to supplement their income, or two, the case may be worse and they've, determined that they've lost their job and they need to look for a way to generate income and the jobs aren't there. And so that's been historically what's happened. So we're certainly seeing that now, that the market is actually better now for home-based businesses. And so, you begin to wonder about why. What's so fascinating about a home-based business? What makes it work so well? And what the experts talk about, a bunch of big long lists, but I think it really boils down right now to one thing, which is that, almost systemically over the last, 5 to 10 years, the American dream as we know it has really evaporated. It's been destroyed. What was the American dream? It was, get a job, own your own home, and build a retirement nest egg so that you could retire at 65 and do what you wanted to do. And, when you look at it, what's happened systemically, really in the mid to early 90s, the whole concept of job loyalty, disappeared and went out the window. The whole concept of company pension plans, disappeared in the late 90s as people who worked for 30 years for, companies, literally overnight, their pension was gone, and the corporate raiders, attacked them when they were overfunded, so they disappeared. That whole ability to rely on that, what people call the social contract, disappeared. And then I don't need to, talk about what's happened in the real estate market over the last 5 years, but, it really has disappeared completely. People's, were relying on their homes that was shelter for future retirement. And I'm old enough to have seen that now 3 times in my life, that people relied on real estate for their retirement. And, I used to say back in the 80s when I first got in the business and we went through the early 80s when it was, 20% interest rates, when everybody was talking in the cocktail party about how they were making more money from their real estate than their job, you knew it was time to get out. Well, certainly that bubble's popped at least twice, been inflated by cheap money and debt and all the other things, and that's popped. And so people are going through that shakeout of, is the American dream really there around the house? And then, last fall we saw, really kind of the last nail in the coffin, when 401k plans evaporated in a 6-month period of time. God, it hurts my heart to have seen some of the stories. I was watching 60 Minutes about 2 months ago, and they were interviewing people who were my age and older, in their, mid to 50s to mid 60s. And, these were single women who had seen literally their 401k completely disappear. They were out of a job. They had no family to support them. And I mean, the stories were disheartening. These were hardworking Americans who had gone from, a path of something being there to sustain them to it evaporating. And so that is driving people in groups to the home-based business market right now. So that concept of the American dream disappearing is gone. And so I actually think that the idea of having a home-based business will really come to the forefront as the great American dream. I mean, when you really begin to dig into it and kind of go back, to immigrants and people coming to our country, they came here because they could get a job. They could start their own business. Guess what? Those businesses they started were what we now call bricks and mortar businesses. Okay? And so that was really, when you think about it, was also part of the great American dream to have your own business. So it may literally be the last remaining piece of the great American dream. And you know what? In this economy, in our world, I actually believe it's probably the most sustainable, because it really, it relies on you. Just like the bakers and the butchers and the people that we look at that were the core and the fabric of our society, that got up at 4 o'clock in the morning and worked till 6 o'clock at night, and they worked their job. Those people created dreams. They made them happen. And the concept that's so exciting right now for me is with the development of the internet, where it's now moved really from that innovator stage into the probably more into the early majority, which is a big piece of the market. What's happened now is that the internet makes what you do in your business become immediately visible. Gone are the time periods of you had to spend years to where you can make an impact in a marketplace. This is truly built for immediate results. You can go out and you can, in this day and age of technology, you can go to Google and be advertising and driving customers to your business within 15 minutes. Okay? You can do a video on YouTube or something like that that may be really targeted, and you can have customers buying from you within, a day. Gosh, it's like you hang the "We're open" sign, and in this market, you can actually get people buying from you immediately. So the overall concept of having a home-based business is as good as it's ever been, and it's going to get better. I could talk about things like Donald Trump coming to this market. He and Robert Kiyosaki have been some of the greatest fans of home businesses over the last 3 to 5 years. They wrote books that had chapters in it. Both of them has said if they had to start all over, they would start in a network marketing home-based business. Well, guess what? The Donald jumped in with both feet in the last few months. He bought an existing MLM business. Okay. Now, don't run out and jump into Donald's business yet, because I'm going to talk to you about the 3 P's starting tomorrow that are really important for you to look at. Okay, so we've gotten to that point that hopefully you feel the passion I'm telling you. A 30-year corporate veteran here who is looking at home-based business and the success I've had as a newbie over the last 18 months. I hope you can feel the passion through the camera here. But you really need to log back in and check in, subscribe to my channel here, and check in on the next 3 videos that I do, okay? Because you're going to want to find out more about that. If you're in a hurry and you can't wait, please feel free to come visit me at my business, Fast Growth Home Business, anytime. But, don't be in a hurry. Just check in and listen to my videos and what I have to say about these over the next few days. Thanks very much for watching this video, the entire video. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day.